Hello and welcome back to another episode of Teacher Let Your Light Shine. In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you a curriculum choice that I'm making for this upcoming school year. This is a great curriculum choice if you have a multi-age classroom or a multi-age family, if you're interested in projects and cooking and collaboration. Even if you're running a micro school and you have a part-time schedule, this is an absolute awesome curriculum to use. That's how I'm going to be using this curriculum with science and social studies. I had such a wonderful time creating a vision for our micro school, and I do this every single year, but it's getting better and better and more refined. And once I had sat down and really looked at the vision for the upcoming school year, I was able to make a very great choice. This is not the only piece of curriculum, but I just wanted to go ahead and share with you what it is, why I'm using it, and how I think that it could benefit many families and many micro schools. Let's get into it. Welcome, teacher, to the Let Your Light Shine podcast. If you're searching for the freedom and permission to design the life you love as a teacher, you're in the right place. I'm on a mission to help teachers just like you build their own dream school or homeschooling business. In this present day, the world needs you, teacher friend, to step out in faith and give students an education they love and so deserve. In this podcast, I will teach you how to start a fulfilling and profitable homeschooling business that lights you up. I'm Makenzie Oliver, former elementary teacher and instructional coach, gone homeschool teacher and business builder. I'm here to empower you to step outside the classroom and choose the experiences, the curriculum, and all the moments that put a smile on your face and your students. Does it seem like a dream? Well, it did to me, until God opened the doors and made it reality. Together, we are breaking through fears and moving the crowd. So get out your notebook, sharpen your pencil. It's time to get your teach on. Don't forget that we have a really awesome summer clarity coaching sale going on right now. If you are a homeschool mom, you need more direction, more resources, more clarity, just needing help. I'm a former public school teacher turned homeschool mom turned micro school builder. I love helping teachers and parents start their micro school or start their homeschooling journey. You can head on over to www.teachersletyourlightshine.com/coaching. You can reserve your spot. It's 20% off. Let's sit across from each other. Let's zoom it up with one another. Let's get you set up for success. I'll give you 3 goals and priorities. I'll help you in any way that you need it. If you're a homeschooling parent, if you're someone who's wanting to start a learning pod, or you're wanting to start your own micro school. I'm so excited to be able to have helped so many wonderful parents and teachers start their journey in either building a business or starting to homeschool. Because let's face it, even if you're homeschooling, it's almost like you're starting a new business. You're starting a new career and you need support and you need help. And it is my honor to be able to help you. In today's episode, I'm so excited to share with you a curriculum choice that I feel very confident in. And it's a choice that I had actually made my first year. And why I didn't choose it my second year, I'll tell you why. And now I'm back at it my third year. This is a great curriculum for multi-ages. And it doesn't have to be for multi-ages, but it's really great if your children love projects, if they love geography, or if you want to give them a cultural perspective. You're also going to be able to find cooking and collaboration opportunities. There's a part-time schedule that you can use along with this curriculum so you don't feel like you're tied to it all the time, every single day. And it's just such a nice addition. It will cover science and social studies. You can take this, watch videos. You will have so much support with this program, and I'm ready to tell it to you. All right, this resource is Gather Round. This is the homeschool resource that I chose my very first year for my middle school daughter, and she completed multi pieces of Gather Round curriculum. So what it is it's a unit-based study, and you can go through and you can choose a unit that your child wants to study. Now, this upcoming year, we're going to choose as an entire school, kindergarten through 6th grade, Africa. That's what we're going to start off with. And it's 20 lessons that is initially created to be 4 days a week for 5 weeks. So you could do it Monday through Thursday or Tuesday through Friday, whichever days, it doesn't matter, or skip days in between. But essentially it would be for 4 days a week, which would take you 5 weeks for a total of 20 lessons. Now I'm going to be using this on Tuesdays and Thursdays only, which I'm very excited about. This is going to help with my part-time students. So my full-time students will be doing all of their core academics Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And the science and social studies will be infused through our reading on Monday and Wednesday and Friday. And I will have different types of units and creative activities throughout the course of time that I've been planning on that doesn't have anything to do with Gather Round. But a lot of our reading, a lot of our resources are going to be stemmed with science and social studies as a backbone. But I wanted an extra layer, and I wanted something where the students would really be able to have a cultural perspective, hands-on learning, projects, and just be able to do something all together. Because if I'm having students come on Tuesday, Thursday, I'm not going to be teaching core curriculum the way that I do on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So we are choosing Africa. What I love about it is that it's different. It's exciting. The students are going to get some really great pieces of information from Gather Round, and why I love it so much is because it is faith-based. It is from a mom who homeschools, who was also homeschooled herself. You can go ahead and look it up on Gather Round Homeschool. So really, in a sense, it's geared towards families being able to gather around, and every single child has their own unit study book. And it's beautiful. It's high quality. The paper is just this beautiful, thick Xerox type of paper, and the illustrations are gorgeous. I believe truthfully, in my experience of teaching at public school, where children didn't even know what city they lived in, state, what country they were a part of, what continent they lived on, I'm just so excited to give a cultural perspective and to teach children geography with this resource. So we're heading on over to Africa, and what I absolutely love is that each child will have their own book, but it is for their own level. So you can gather together. Each child will have their own resource book. You as the teacher can have your own guide. There are videos that you can use that they suggest. You can start off. That's how I did my first year. I used it. I started off. I displayed a video from YouTube as we went to different countries in that continent. We actually started our first year with Europe. I made some mistakes my first year with it though. One, I did not purchase the teacher's guide. That was awful. I don't know why I did that. I think I was just trying to save cost. Don't do that. Get the teacher's guide. I also did not have the recipe book that goes along with it, and I think that would have been a really nice added touch. In addition, I only bought one book for my middle school daughter, and I printed out pages for the other students at school, which was not fun. It was just tons of work, tons of time, tons of ink. I would have been better off if I would have just bought everybody their own book. So this year, everyone's getting their own book. I'm going to have a teacher's guide. I'm going to get the recipe collection, and I'm just so excited to be able to offer this to families. So the families know that when their child comes on Tuesday and Thursday, we're going to be doing Gather Round, and it has science and social studies embedded. Now, is this going to be my only science and social studies? It's not, but I'm not going to pick a different curriculum for science and social studies. I have other resources that I used last year that I did not complete in science and social studies. I also want to do more unit-based, more project-based, and I just feel like this would be way too much. But I also feel as if the students are going to need a little bit more than just Gather Around for science and social studies. I'm going to be doing this on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I'm spreading it out all the way until November, which I think is going to be super cool. I'm giving myself time and freedom. I'm not rushing through this. It is so much content that the children are going to be able to read. They're going to be able to learn so much. They're going to be able to write. And this is going to be a comprehensive activity for all of the children to do together with my guidance. I love how each page has the map of the continent and then you study a country, in the very back of the resource, there are pages where the children can cut out the different flags of each country on the continent and can make their own travel journal. So they will get a lot of ideas for a little travel journal online. The students can journal little things that they learn about each country. They can cut out pieces in the appendix. They can draw and label animals. And I'm thinking, since we're only going to do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I'm not going to start off with this right away in August. Typically, I'm going to start pulling out the major curriculum the second, third week of school. And then what we'll do prior to that is all kinds of fun team building, collaboration, and of course, just basic core academic things with our journals and our student record books, things of that nature. But I just love having Gather Around on Tuesdays and Thursdays all the way until November. And then in November, my idea is to have a potluck family dinner, and the students can show what they've learned from Gather Around Africa. They can build dioramas throughout this entire time. This is going to be very project-based learning that I love being able to utilize with Gather Around. So as they're learning about the different animals, they get to create a savanna, they get to create dioramas. They can also create presentations about Africa, what they've learned about it. So I thought that would be a really great culminating activity to finish learning about Africa, have a November family potluck dinner, invite all of the families to our local park. The students can have their activities set up. Maybe they could even dress in different African costumes or have different instruments, have a potluck dinner. Maybe we could even cook foods from Africa, but I'm thinking actually it should probably just be like a little family giving, a little Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving, whatever you want to call it. I think that would be so fun. But most importantly, the students are able to showcase. Then in the rest of November and December, it will all be thematic units. And then we will start the school year in January, coming back from break and doing earth science from Gather Around. Now, in my first explanation, I said that Gather Around does offer science and social studies. You can buy science all by itself. You can buy social studies by itself. But when you look at the Africa, the very first page is social studies and geography. The second page is all about science, where they're going to build the Sahara Desert. Then there is a language arts and a Bible verse. So they're going to see the Bible verse. They're going to reflect on the Bible verse, have a personal connection to the Bible verse. There's another page where there's a little bit of a grammar. Now, again, I would not suggest that you just totally forego your literature, your reading, your science. I just think that this is an added bonus. You can drop the rest of your core curriculum on Tuesdays and Thursdays and pick this up. There's tons of reading involved in it, and there's science infused without. You can also use project-based learning. I would, however, on Tuesdays and Thursdays still keep our math going. I would do that. There is another social studies. This is still on day one. Another social studies where they're going to research an adventure and an explorer. And then there is a history lesson on World War I and II. So all just in one day. There's a lot of reading. There's a lot of just exploration and researching and coloring and looking at geography and coloring the map and reading about the Sahara Desert, preparing for a diorama, using a little bit of writing and scripture reading, researching someone who has been an influencer for adventures and exploring, and then also a history lesson. Same thing happens on day 2. So then let's say that was on Tuesday, then on Thursday, they're going to learn about Morocco, and they're going to do a country, graphing and coloring and mapping. Then they're going to do a little research in science on the North African hedgehog. They're also going to be journaling. They will be doing more research on the North African hedgehog, and they get to design their own. And so it also incorporates art. They're going to be learning about the Berber people, which is a group of indigenous of North Africa. And then they're going to be learning about North Africa in World War II. So that goes into, you can see that there's rich history, there's geography, there's art, there's cooking, which I did not speak about, but you can order the recipe book separately, which I'm going to do. So the reason why I'm just doing this on Tuesdays and Thursdays is because we have some part-time students only coming on this day. And once we do our core in the morning with Gather Around, then in the afternoon, we'll either go on a field trip or we will cook or work on our projects. So I hope that you feel inspired. Go ahead, check it out. That is gatheraroundhomeschool.com, and come to our Facebook group. Let us know if you've had any experience with it, if you have any questions, and whether or not you're considering doing this with your Learning Pod homeschool group with your own children or in your micro school. Hey, teacher friend. Thanks so much for listening to today's show. I pray it inspired you, touched you, or challenged you in some way, because we are making big shifts and using our teaching gifts for God's glory like never before. I'm so grateful for you. The number one way you can support this show is to leave a written review on Apple Podcasts, and also share this with another teacher. Come join me in the Virtual Teachers Lounge, known as the Teacher Let Your Light Shine Facebook group. Until next time, keep shining your teacher light. The world needs you.